money that I don't accept.
We are back. It is Behind the Counter podcast live here on Instant Games TV. We are back at it here right after the 4th of July holiday yesterday. Back here in the summer. Ash says hello. Dave, Steve, Mike, and myself. Gentlemen, how was the weekend? Busy here.
Yeah, it was nice and busy here.
Busy as fuck.
Sold all sorts of stuff. My beloved pink Game Boy SP went out the door. So
Not bad.
for full price. Because I'm not too upset when I did it. I was the one who sold it. It was to someone that truly appreciated its wetness. So
They even checked you to see if make sure it was actually backlit.
that I was a little upset about that. He checked me to make sure I wasn't selling defective product, but
Now Ash wants to say hello. He was in there quietly for 20 minutes until we hit the live button.
I
Hey.
guess he wants out.
He wants to be part of the discussions.
He's doing something to get some negative attention. He's trying to pull a string through.
Alright, come over here and sit next to me. Let's see if we can behave like last time.
He was pretty good last time.
Alright, so we it was a busy weekend here.
Yep.
We had I was here Saturday morning, and it was pretty jammed up. Friday was busy. Sunday was busy too. So, overall we had a great weekend here sales wise. And Ash is like, he's you in your mood now?
Wicked menace mode right now.
He's studying all like he was tired out a minute ago, sat in the cage perfectly quiet, and like in the minute we go
You can tell
live,
we're doing something.
he wants the camera shots. But
There you go, Mike.
But so we were off last week, back at it this week. Kind of quiet around the channel. A lot of people, have been taking a few streams off for the summer, which I get. So we had Danny NASCAR back at it tonight, off last night.
4th of July, there was fireworks going on.
So I know Dream Team was off this week. Brothers in Arms was off. A lot of people were off, and I will say, we all, when you get into the streaming, it is, to keep up with the schedule. I mean, I know Dave's done a great job at it, and keeping up, but in the summer it gets tough a little bit. It's kind of, you want to get outside, you want to do stuff, and it's just, especially when I've found that. And I wouldn't call myself the limited amount of streaming that I've done. I find myself that I want to stream when I'm not scheduled to stream, and then when I'm scheduled to stream, I don't want to stream. You ever have that where it's just like I really just can't stream right now? I got so much stuff going on, but yet like on a Tuesday, but I really could stream right now. I really could do well. He's walking around. He can't be going in and out of the table. Come on, into the playpen we go.
Yeah,
That was so good. Ash literally was like, "I'm gonna go over here right now." La la la.
It's like Dan running off. Ah! It's been more than Dan can handle having a dog, I think.
Not really.
I was gonna say, if you look at the behavior changes in Ash since he was newly born Bebe to now, like. Just let him wander around, and he wasn't yanking on any cords. Like
He's actually
hasn't taken Dan's shoes off.
He's been very, very good today. So I've now, I've learned that my sleep schedule is now based around his sleep schedule. So I've now, I used to consider myself an 8 to 8:30 morning wake up person. I don't know what time you guys wake up, but now it's like 5:45 in the morning. I'm up, and it's a 6 o'clock go out. He does his business, both 1 and 2. If it's a good morning, 1 and 2 gets done immediately, and it's right back inside. So I know that's gonna be a good day. When only 1 gets done and the other one's not, and then you gotta come back out a couple hours later. So when 1 and 2 gets done right away, that's a big sigh of relief. We go upstairs. It's breakfast time. He eats his breakfast, and we go back in. And I try, if I'm lucky, I get like another hour and a half sleep out of him. He'll go back in. He did both his business. He ate. He's full. He's relaxed, and then like today he slept from like he slept till like 8:30. I was like, oh wow, this is actually never done this much. So I've learned that my sleep schedule, and I don't know about you guys. I don't know what you guys do at night, but when I get home, I pull out the iPad and I probably waste about 2 hours just doing random stuff. Rather it's watching a random YouTube video, rather it's watching a TV show or reading something. Like I waste like 2 hours at night, and all of a sudden it's midnight, and like it's
I don't really call that wasting.
But you know what I mean? Like it's that time of the day where it's just like that. You just kill 2 hours, really ultimately doing absolutely nothing.
You need that to recharge in the end. Otherwise, you'll go crazy.
I should go to sleep at 10, and I won't be as tired when he wakes up at 5. But I can't.
So do you go back to bed after comes back in?
I try to. I push it very hard.
Now we both know Mike. Second that head hits that pillow, he is back out. How many different conventions and things have we been going? Hello.
It is very.
You guys both waiting outside my house one time.
It can be. I mean, like it can be very annoying waking up and going back, waking up because I do so next to his kennel. I got one of those. You ever heard of a mattress pad?
Mm-hmm.
You have the mattress. You can get a pad to put on top of the mattress,
Yeah.
and it's the size of the mattress. Actually, I have one. I have one in here. Great.
So-
I'm not. I'll never spend $60 on a dog bed again. Just go spend $25 on a mattress pad, and there's your dog bed. Put a blanket over it, and you got 3 times more feet.
Life hacks.
So it's the size of a bed. So I actually, when we get done, I lay on that. And then he plays with the toys, and half the time I fall back asleep. and then either if he sees me sleeping, he'll sleep. Sometimes, not always as planned.
Sometimes he bites your ears.
Today was a very good day so far. Now I think he's getting into his angry Ash mood. He hasn't had that yet today, but I think he's getting into it now.
Better now than
He
during
has
Danny
something in
NASCAR when
there.
you're in the middle of a race, though.
Well, I have someone that watches him during that, so hopefully that.
Have you done a dog on stream reveal yet?
I showed him a couple weeks ago. It wasn't a good show, but I took the camera and showed him. I showed how he was passed out right next to me in the chair, and I couldn't move the chair, otherwise I'd probably hit his head. So I was like, his head was right next to the wheel. It's those rubber wheels. So it's like not like the little cheap plastic ones where you hit it, probably knock him out of the way. Those would probably like crush his, or push down on his toe or something, or his face. But yeah, so it's been interesting. But he is getting better. We had a good day so far today until now.
He just said your name a couple seconds ago, but
I'm not sure he knows his name yet.
he's like, Dan.
If I yell "little man," he comes.
Oh.
If I say his name Ash, he has no idea what I'm talking about.
I think he knows exactly what you're talking about. He just is defiant because he'll look at you, but he won't. move.
But if he hears any voice, he'll look. So when I say his name, I'm always doing like a sound, so he looks when he's to try to. But we start
guess
doggy
that is kinda hard
We
to-
start doggy classes next week. Now I'm sure
Wow.
that'll be stories to tell right there. That's a lot of stress. to go
Doggy
in.
classes.
So it's a dog class with 15 other people, and it's one of those where you got the dog. You better hope your dog's not the one being the class clown, because you're gonna be the one embarrassed. You're running around like a madman. Now he's been good. This is one of those situations where he's been like the other day we had him out front here, and he didn't bark. How many people came up and pet him? He didn't care.
He is more well behaved than Gino in that aspect.
True. We went to the fireworks last night in Lake George. Didn't even care about the sound. It wasn't even at all. The firework one, I didn't care about the sound of it whatsoever. People all running around and didn't care. This would be one of those things, we'll go in there and he'll act like a madman, barking and howling, and it'd be a complete embarrassment. We'll see.
So what do you need to bring him to school for?
The basics, Mike.
You can't teach him
Stop,
the basics
heel,
yourself?
sit,
Wow.
do the leash,
That's kind of like what you're supposed to do.
He's better. He's very good, though.
What are you to him?
He knows sit.
He'll respect that person as the
So
master
here's
of it.
what he's learned. You tell me if this you think is a good start. He's learned to go pee when you say it. He's learned that when I say, "Are you hungry?" he knows it's time to eat and goes berserk. He knows where the food is, like the dog food. He knows sit. He knows go for a walk. I mean, those are pretty basic. Doesn't know how to use the leash though. I can't understand it. I'm
You're
actually
just-
completely frustrated with the fact that he just does not understand what the leash is. I'm jealous of every dog owner I see walking on the side of the road with a dog walking. And I every time I see it the last 4 weeks, I'm like,
He walked
that
with
little
me.
dog knows how to figure it out.
He walked with me pretty good.
He likes to stomp. He'll look at the bugs. He'll look at the ants. He'll look at the
He
flies.
knew the deal with me. You just got to be more manly in your approach.
And I say it every time in the car. I go, that dog knows how to walk, Ash.
Why can't you be normal?
Well, other than that, it's starting to slowly get back down to normal.
He seems like he's entertained himself in there.
But, so what are you guys up to this weekend? Anything on the side? Or any?
Getting ready for Pokemon League that I'm doing. Getting my set of 12 up to level 50. The old grind in video games, they have Pokemon's now entirely different. You can do this like raid battle, and then you get XP candies that you can then. Because remember how rare candies, they were bad for your Pokemon. They would make them dumb and like just make their stats bad. These XP candies, it's just like battling. So like there I am sitting there on stream for months grinding to level up, and CJ's like, yeah, you just use the XP candies and it does it. And I'm like, then what's the point? What's the point? I was raised in Pokemon Red and Blue where you just grinded for thousands of hours, just like Final Fantasy, just like everything else.
That is funny. Just XP candy. That's how things have changed over the years.
Sword and Shield, bad games. Looking forward to the next ones. See if they've changed
You
it.
really think they're that bad?
So different. So different.
Is that the one that's like in the British Island? The one you've been playing?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
okay.
The one that Dan, by the way, conveniently when I was streaming it in store, I was like, Mike, you can be the champion. And what did he immediately throw up? But this. 3 times. I was like, oh my god. It's perfect. So now anytime he comes up or if I'm doing anything and Mike's not there, I'm like, I just do the you pay tribute. I had my first example of, sorry to turn a single question into a 45-minute answer, but the PS5 at home has been really good, and I've been playing MLB The Show on it. And then I come here, and I have some matchups that I need to do by the weeks and Madden matchups. Madden doesn't really affected by the PS5, PS4 controller difference. MLB, however, they have this really cool control scheme where you're using the right stick, almost like a fighting game, where you're drawing like a pattern with the right stick. PS5, intuitive, perfect. I'm bad at it, but it's good. I then started playing on the PS4 controllers. Immediately doo-doo. Immediately. Couldn't get Zach Greinke, a 90-ranked pitcher, to do a fastball properly. And I'm blaming the controller. Because I can do it at home, can't do it here at the store.
Okay. Well,
the controls are that far off, are they, from PS4 to, are they that really big?
they've finally made a real big change with that from what it looks like. 1 through 4 were all pretty similar.
The 5 control, because it senses the pressure on the hands, the triggers are more intuitive, the sticks are more intuitive, like all these things, and it's a tank of a controller, and you have to constantly charge it, but small price to pay.
That's what I do like about the Xbox, though, how nothing accessory-wise really changed. I like how the fact it's compatible. It's just like,
that
it's
is
easy,
useful.
you know, and you know, you don't have to worry about switching. And I mean, not regardless, you can't find any controllers anywhere. I will say though, I do like some of the new Xbox ones coming out. I don't know if you've seen them. Like, you know, when we do our usual browses through Walmart or Target, I don't know what you guys see when you go through. When I go through, I see some pretty nice looking Xbox controllers in there. They had a real nice red camo one at Target the other day. I really like that bright.
No, yeah, I was gonna say
That
saw
bright yellow. Is it a yellow or green?
the original shirt green.
Yeah, it was a bright yellow green.
Closer to yellow.
controller.
But I'd
Nice.
still
And
say
the back of
green.
the controller was white. And I haven't really seen them too often lately, but
It's like something electric, but
The electrical.
yeah.
But Steve, where can people find PS4 and Xbox One controllers today?
Right here, it's names.
Little more pride, Steve. A little more pride.
Right
on
here,
that.
insane games.
Maybe at the store. Right here, live in the Wilton Mall.
David Duell is the WWE guy.
GameStop didn't have them. Target didn't have them.
Did Ash get out?
no. I think our
That was
alarm,
one of the weirdest
our
things.
alarm's going off and no one's.
Although, if someone had a bag and they stepped up because it's right underneath where the gate
the
closes,
alarm's going off.
They probably like.
they're trying to escape the cage.
The alarm is going off.
Does that mean there was a customer in there and we did?
Please let me out. They're making me listen to their podcast.
This podcast is bad.
Oh no, you're locked in now.
Now you're watching me.
So, Mike came over yesterday for the. So, the Shevlins are very, very competitive when it comes to the game of croquet. And back when we were kids, always, it was on the neighborhood, the game of croquet, the backyard. And we've all, you guys see my dad. He's very, very like, won't he being funny or being a tough guy or being like, so he always has these little rules. Like if we were playing kickball, let me give you a rule. He has a stone wall in the backyard, and if you're playing kickball, the team outfield and you have the infield. In the infield, the person kicking's up, and there's a line of people like the order. And if someone knocked over a stone on the wall, automatic out. Like my dad, like if a petal fell off the flower, he goes, "You just knocked that flower off the stem, out!" And like it was a fight. He always, so he
Made
has
some
all these
extra
little
rules,
rules when it
right.
comes to these little games. And we did our 4th of July croquet match last night, and Mike went in. Started out rough. You want to explain it?
I'll say I've only played croquet 2 times before this, and this is my 3rd time playing. And those guys are super competitive about it. People's moods have been determined.
Not the Chevrolet. Competitive about things? No.
And Johnny was there, and he's the most toxic.
Not
of
Johnny.
all.
Johnny's not competitive about it.
So for me to come in there and to collect a W in an environment like that, I would say it was quite impressive. But I was doing horrible at first. They pretty much had mercy on me. I was the last one to get through all the holes, and then I finally got around, and then I was hiding in the corner for a little bit while everyone was taking each other out. And then it came down to me versus TJ, and I did have to hit a pretty clutch wet shot to get him out after a long, long battle.
It's a very, very toxic environment. It's just very, very messy.
There is. You could see all the rivalries unfolding in there. There's
Who's your favorite rivalry, if you had to guess?
probably my favorite one, because I haven't seen much, is Johnny and your mom.
Very, very toxic rivalry right there.
They are both
Kathy and
tight-lipped about it, but you can see it in their actions.
they both
that
go
there's a
after each
rivalry.
other. Now, if you, because I want to clarify some of these things. If you watching Johnny play, what do you think Johnny's goal is the entire game?
To take you out.
Okay, thank you. Don't do that.
He wasn't really going for it this game, though.
No,
I don't think he did.
he
no.
took a shot at me to try to knock me out. And he hit it so fast, so hard, he hit the fence and he was out of the game.
Okay, I guess that is when he went.
So
That was
there's
after a
there's
while,
certain
though.
fence where, now, have you ever played croquet?
No, but I kind of know the gist of it.
Now, you said you're like a master of it yourself, right?
Not a master, but I've played a lot of it.
Right. So, the ball, the way we do it, I don't know if you ever heard of poisoned. Croquet when you get poisoned. I don't know if that's like
Yes.
it's another element that's different that you can add on to the game of croquet. There's one element you get through whoever gets through all the pegs first wins. Then there's other where you get through the pegs, you go down and get poisoned, then you gotta go around and knock people out by hitting their ball. And when you hit their ball, they're knocked out. But there's a rule that if you hit the fence when you're poisoned, you're automatically out. You're out no matter what. And Johnny, in his rage moment of always trying to go after me, from halfway across the yard, took this absurd shot to try to. That's how thirsty he was.
That's how I was going to say about the rivalries. Both Tom and Johnny went into the fence trying to take Dan out. So those two were focused on taking Dan out.
However-
TJ is pretty fair, I would say.
Am I fair?
You're just a coward, so
What do you mean?
You're equally.
I also have the most wins right now.
It wasn't just me saying it. This is his whole family
Of course.
telling him how it is. So
Right.
I'm just relaying the message.
No. Now the matches before, I hit the ball and I would knock people out, and no matter what, every week it's always something. Oh, you're not taking a shot. Well,
I will say there is a lot of Dan hate going around, but
Thank you. It's
I'd say
uneven.
50-50 is actually some real, like, There's a reason to why they're saying it.
I
Dan getting to go last every game. That's a true issue.
Because you go by the
try
color.
to play off, and then other stuff not so much. But
I think we should make a croquet course right out front here on the grass, right here at the mall. I think we can run wires out from here to there. I mean, I don't think it's that far. I think we can do like a little remote location, and I think we should stream a game of croquet out there by the parking lot.
could be done.
I think we got to do
There's
enough.
a nice
for,
piece of grass there.
We got to do enough where everyone can practice. Enough where everyone kind of get not. So it's not like we're just throwing it out there and everyone. I think we should do. I watch and there's a lot of obstacles out there. All the pine cones. That could be a big problem. Trying to hit the ball and you hit a pine cone. And
Damn!
God damn it! And again, I think one of the rules out there would be if your ball goes off the grass onto the sidewalk, you're out. Out. Could you imagine if you get down? Can you imagine if it goes across the sidewalk and down onto the pavement? You'll never get your ball back up on the grass.
Sometimes you can get some lift on it if you get underneath.
There's certain rules. There gotta be clean content from the contact from the mallet to the ball. No forward motions like dragging it or lifting, like Johnny likes to push.
That's what they say that you do. It's called the Dan push.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's another thing. Dan cheats.
But I said halfway through. So basically, halfway through the game, Mike was in the back, and I said, and I don't know if you. So these guys just aren't taking anyone out, and it's just one of those. You should be taking people out, and not like everyone's just letting Mike just go through.
The
And it's
rivalries where people were hunting each other.
Right.
Dan's mom was hunting Johnny. She had a shot probably from me to the camera or a little closer, and she just let it go because she wanted to trap Johnny. They had actually Tom and Dan's mom had Johnny trapped in a corner, and he still somehow got out of it.
I wasn't
don't
trying
know.
to go after Johnny. I don't waste my time with Johnny.
That's because you're scared of Johnny.
No, I knocked him out the last 3 games.
It's best to stay away from him just so there's
Personally, I've knocked him out the last 3 games.
Did you though? The last game you didn't knock, he knocked himself out going for you. That doesn't count as him taking you out.
3 games before that, I knocked him out.
I'll have to get confirmation. For now, I'll believe you, but
I don't know, you weren't there. So. But yeah, I think it's. I like that. I don't know. I know another game pretty good outside is bocce. If you had to pick, so if you had to pick your
I don't
favorite,
think I've ever played bocce.
Okay, if you had to pick your favorite recreational game outside that's not necessarily sports, what would it be? I'm not saying like soccer or baseball. If you had to pick a hobby or a recreational competitive thing outside of sports and the outside, what would it be?
You got 2 words for you, pal. The good old pick.
Fair.
I was gonna say, Steve, we bought pickleball rackets, and pickleball's dead. Like, great. This is awesome.
We have been playing still outside, but the indoor court has been a little
Decommissioned, taken down.
for the dog.
We will never see that basketball hoop or the pickleball net air again.
The net's not going. It's just softly off to the side for now.
Off to the side. The space is being utilized for
It
something
can
else.
be easily pulled out.
First
at
off,
any
yeah, a
moment.
pickleball match can easily take place in 30 seconds. It's all right there, ready to go. In fact, I could argue that the table is on the wall, or actually, it actually stops the ball from leaving the court.
Until someone falls in it and do it.
Could be. I'm trying to think of mine.
I guess there's a lot. I know. There's other stuff.
I don't know if say mine right now that we haven't played yet, and I can't wait till we do because I feel like I'm very good at it. Is cornhole.
We were talking about
waiting
that
to
the
play
other day.
that. You know what that one is?
That's the one where anyone can be good.
No, I don't know what that means.
You know, and it's not anything that puts you a lot of under physical stress. I'm saying.
Right, well, anyone can learn it. Not everyone can just win it.
I think anyone could if they took the time to learn it.
Okay, okay, anyone can take the time to learn.
It's essentially
croquet or soccer or bocce or pickleball and be good at
It's
it.
essentially beer pong with a little bean bag.
They've had enough alcohol.
Exactly. See? Dan's like, I only need the Diet Pepsi to win.
Oh,
Like his good old friend Jeff
Jeff who?
Gordon.
Did we talk about that? Big news.
Oh, yeah, that,
Did we? I don't think that hasn't happened yet since our last Behind the Counter, has it?
no, we brought it up briefly on Danny NASCAR.
Big news out of Hendrick Motorsports. Jeff Gordon named vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. Quite the move, making him the number 2 in the organization. Steve and I were running around doing cartwheels and jumping jacks, and that happened.
I want you guys to explain to me exactly what he does for the company. Actually, more so, I want Dr. Wiley to explain. Now, I know his position, vice chairman. What are his duties?
Any decision or anything that is passed off by Rick, he makes the choice for. Whether
So-
firing.
What position? What kind of decisions would he pass off and not make for himself, even?
Well, Rick Hendrick's getting older.
Any
So
of
nothing
them.
for now, essentially.
He's specifically in charge of competition and marketing.
I was talking to Dr. Wiley. No, I'm just kidding.
So competition's pretty much all the driving, all the teams, all the drivers, all the pit chiefs, all the crew chiefs, all the sponsors, and everything. I mean, so that's a pretty big role.
He's in control of all that.
Well, that's
What do
his
you mean by
department.
being in control of it?
He is going to be specializing in running the competition side and the marketing side, which is marketing will be all sponsors, money coming in. Competition is performance on the racetrack. Find me 2 other elements more important than that.
What do you mean competition is? What is it? He just sees it and he tells someone about it,
Who
or
runs a football team?
a
Not
lot
the
of
owner.
people.
Who runs a football team?
The owner.
No. Who makes decisions on a football team?
If you look at the Cowboys, it's absolutely the owner.
Mike, Jerry Jones is a special exception where he runs everything.
When you look at all the positions, who's making moves and who's
The general manager,
Okay,
probably.
Jeff would be probably considered the general manager, even though there's already a general manager for Hendrick Motorsports. I would say the role is equivalent to that in the football. He's making the driver.
They don't have a
selections, he's
general manager and then an assistant to the general manager that's the actual general manager in football. It's just the general manager in football. Right?
making-
On January 1st, he's going to be officially the vice chairman.
Okay.
And then Brad Kozlowski potentially leaving Penske to help run Roush Racing.
So it's a rivalry that will run forever in the end.
Does Jeff lose his position as color analyst, panelist at NASCAR
He
because of
retired.
this?
He left. Well, not retired. He left it. He's
Okay.
done. Yeah.
I was gonna say because that would be a little bit of a conflict of it. Not really, but now that he's got such an investment in
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
position and first of all responsibilities, but then to be the voice of that and like, there's my boy. Like,
Michael Waltrip did that when he had MWR.
that was even worse because wasn't it his son?
No.
Then what was that deal with him then?
What deal?
Which one of the racers had their kid and they were in the booth while they were racing? Or am I confusing 2 racers?
No, you're confusing Darrell Waltrip. His brother,
Right.
Michael Waltrip was racing while he was announcing.
Right.
Wait, was there a son, father?
No.
Dale?
Dale Jarrett? The Jarretts? Ned Jarrett and Dale Jarrett?
They were on for one of the throwback races.
No, but I think when Ned Jarrett was announcing, Dale Jarrett was racing.
Yeah, he
Well, that-
called the 1994 Daytona 500 where Jarrett won.
Dave throwing out some NASCAR.
Dave's usually the asshole this time, not the asshole.
Got it right. But I would say that's big news. That was pretty exciting to hear. As a NASCAR fan, I think, I mean, as a Jeff Gordon fan.
Say personally, I just don't think he's going to be doing anything for the company. I think he's just there to make the company money on face value alone.
Look at how much Jeff Gordon stuff is behind me and in the back room, and
Exactly.
tell me that he's not going to do anything for Hendrick Motorsports.
He's just going to make people like Dan continue rooting for Hendrick Sports. But in all actuality, he's going to be chilling.
So you'd tell me that you would. Are you turning up your nose at that act? Or are you just merely pointing it out?
I'm just pointing it out.
Because I was going to say, what if the New England Patriots were to suddenly put a tribute out to former tight ends? What if my Bills were to suddenly go, we're having O.J. Simpson night?
I agree. Let's say that's a very high position of power for him, though. Unless if he's going to actually be running it, then that's super cool. But
I mean, dude has run his brand to the moon and back. Like,
it's just interesting to see how someone that goes primarily from racing is now supposed to be business savvy and all that.
He's learned a lot. I mean, first off, Jeff is like the pioneer of NASCAR. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. But the only picture in my office is of Jeff Gordon, so I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. But he took NASCAR from here way up to here. I mean, even though he's only a 4-time champion, there's three others that have more titles. I mean, he is like the only driver to actually own his team when he was racing with Hendrick and own Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time champion's car. I mean, he's really, at the end of the day, probably like a 12. He's about 4, 7. He's 11-time champion, both as a driver and an owner in NASCAR. That's pretty. If you look at Tony Stewart Racing, you look at Denny Hamlin.
Don't compare him to the great one.
Who?
Tony Stewart.
I mean, he's
1-0 in the category that counts.
He's 11-time champion as both an owner, combined as an owner and driver.
He also owned the team with Ray Evernham from 1999 to 2000. It was mainly fielded by Ricky Hendrick and Jeff Gordon himself.
a lot of NASCAR racers, actually, before they make it to NASCAR, have to run their own PR department, their own HR, their own, like, all these other things to get the cars to the races, book themselves in these lower races, get these points up, go around and sell their brand and do these things and be in charge of this stuff. So it's surprisingly in NASCAR especially not that tough of a transition to go from in the car to managing around the car. But unlike many other sports where, like, NFL players, they don't know anything about the inner workings of a team. They don't know, like, that stuff. Or, like, baseball players, a lot of them don't, but some of them do. But, like,
right.
NASCAR especially, because they have to come up, they have to know so much about the facets of racing and the culture itself.
That makes sense. Just one more question. You don't think that Dale Earnhardt's the face of it over Jeff? You're going to say that Jeff's the face of NASCAR?
Jeff changed NASCAR. Dale didn't. Jeff did. And I
would say that people had a lot more safety concerns after Dale.
That's not what I'm talking about. Changing. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't even know how to respond to that.
You said he didn't change he changed the sport.
I mean, obviously he changed the sport.
Because people loved him so much when he went, they were trying to stop anything like that from ever happening again.
Dale Earnhardt, while he had a big fan base, his fan base were already with fans of NASCAR. Jeff brought in new people that weren't fans of NASCAR. That most of Jeff's fans, when they came in, had probably been a NASCAR fan for a year or two prior. Like, Dale Earnhardt had fans that, a lot of them, probably the most popular driver of all time, if I had to guess, but he also had a fan base that had already been with NASCAR for a long time. I mean, Jeff brought in new people, which then led to better TV deals, more sponsors, putting it on the map too, and he dominated for 4 years straight. He got a lot of attention.
It's an appropriate response to my question.
The Roman Reigns.
You're right. Speaking of NASCAR, real quick.
You didn't say he was better than Dale. You just explained what you meant.
Tony Stewart Racing. Is that a game that came out?
SRX?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a game you can physically go buy?
Yeah.
Might have.
And they made it just around Tony Stewart's league.
Yeah. And a few
Dan?
side leagues to kind of...
I have to get a couple copies of that.
Can you play online?
Yeah.
With online people?
Yeah.
How many people in the lobby?
12.
That's it?
That's how many race on each weekend.
Oh, wait, but that's how many are in the race.
In real.
Like, how many people are on there playing? Does it tell you?
Oh, let me check.
We'll say, like, if there's, like, 15, 100, 300 people online racing. That could be an interesting little stream.
With how small the fields are, like...
Doing a little dirt racing.
Little night racing.
Pretty good compared to his old games and the Heat games.
So is it taking the scene by storm?
A little bit.
The racing scene?
Any update on the NASCAR games?
Not that I know of.
Nothing
Ridiculous.
concrete yet.
So it's been almost a year now. I think it was exactly a year, Steve, that NASCAR Heat 5 came out.
Around this time.
It's like
yeah.
July
Okay.
8th, I believe it came out. So it's been a year now. Game's still kicking.
That is pretty interesting.
It's still a decent amount. I think almost the same amount of people I think now than what it was when it came out on playing. So I'll take that.
Got a nice loyal fan base on there.
So I mean,
It is about time for a new one,
It's
though.
time for a new one. But NASCAR games, I was shocked that it came out in July. That's a very unusual month for a game to come out, in my opinion. Normally it's either like beginning of the year or it's like the end of the season, fall, August maybe. But July was a little weird. But I don't know. That baffled me when it came out last year at that time. But hey, it is what it is. What?
The PC version of it, as far as I'm aware, is completely dead. Like, no one's racing online.
No,
For who?
NASCAR
For
Heat 5.
Oh.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
checking real quick right now.
The PC Wow, really? No one races PC on the.
Let's double check. It won't let me run it without a controller.
On a side note, speaking of video game news, Dave, Super Smash Brothers made some announcements, or Nintendo, I take it, made some announcements.
During E3, Nintendo announced that Kazuya Mishima, a character that the three of us know intimately well from the Tekken franchise,
You know him.
will be coming along and eviscerated Kirby or Yoshi in his introduction video, and they announced that there is uno mas. And then
one more.
no more for Smash Bros. Ultimate. That'll be the last character. That game has now had over 80 characters added.
Oh my god.
So this guy from Tekken's going in. This guy. What are the other
The
characters
guy.
that have nothing to do with Nintendo?
Cloud from Final
Snake.
Fantasy.
I know Metal.
I could draw the connections for all of them if you want to Nintendo.
So Metal Gear Solid.
Mhm.
The character Snake.
Yeah, the original Metal Gear came out on Nintendo, you dork.
Okay, but regardless.
Come on. The dork was a little far, but I couldn't help myself.
So the non-traditional characters that people wouldn't normally see as Nintendo IP, Snake nowadays, you wouldn't necessarily see
I
him.
mean, he is
First off, the best
PlayStation.
Metal Gear Solid game ever made was PlayStation 1. Not even on the fucking Nintendo, so I take that
They
back.
remade
GameCube.
it for GameCube.
The first one?
Yeah.
It's the best version you're gonna
You can
get.
play that in first
The
person,
twin
right?
snakes.
Isn't that where you can play it in first person?
You can aim in first
can
person
aim,
when you're
yeah.
shooting your gun.
So there's Solid Snake, which is not necessarily a Nintendo IP. Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter.
They were on Super Nintendo in the day.
True. Cloud Strife from the Final Fantasy franchise.
Fantasy
Final
1.
Fantasy, deep roots in Nintendo.
If you dig deep enough, then it's like the Kevin Bacon rules.
Yep,
all of them.
like there's literal like almost all of the characters. Kazuya's really
Tekken Tag 2 came out on Wii U.
yeah,
There was also Advance for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
it's true. And then the Persona games, did those come out on Nintendo?
I think
consoles?
those ones.
Strikers did.
Okay.
There you go. That one I wasn't
So
sure
there
about.
is Terry might be the only one,
King of Fighters got re-released on the Switch.
and there it is. So literally all of these what will be 82 characters have in one way or another over the history of Nintendo had a main story game or a game on a main story Nintendo console.
It is pretty cool to see it now.
But
The most ambitious crossover event
people are
in
getting
history.
super excited and super sweaty with Kazuya already.
I've heard he's tearing it up.
Very broken. You can KO with 4 punches.
God.
So who's more broken, Kazuya or Steve?
Well, after they nerfed my boy Steve, Kazuya is still pretty broken.
At peak brokenness. Let's actually, you know what? I'll even throw it out. Was it Kazuya, Steve, or Piranha Plant? Because I know that thing was broken as hell when it first came out.
That was the last cheap character I knew.
Kazuya is definitely.
At peak not functioning as it should.
That's pretty cool, though. I loved his trailer with each person dropping off and then Kirby with the bubbles at the end coming back out. Good shit, good shit.
Seems interesting. Anyone on?
There are currently 22 people on NASCAR
Yikes.
Heat 5 on PC. 10 lobbies, 363 races run today.
That's
So,
crazy.
It's a lot of people.
What? There are only 22 people. What? That's what? That's one lobby, isn't it?
That's half of the lobby.
Yeah. How are
That
they not?
is
Is it
nuts.
just them? Like,
No, there's
1 2-man, 1 5-man.
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just 2 and 3 people. Oh my God! One person ambitiously got 40-person lobbies. What
Come
what
on,
go-getters
guys.
they are. That one person, 2 in a 13-person lobby. They'll get it. Except they have damage on. Everyone's too cowardly to play that. Ridiculous.
what a shame.
All right, we got anything else to go over for this episode? Did we miss anything?
Oh,
I know Mike had a similar experience to some of us in the store where you're working in the store and suddenly they begin speaking about you in the past tense.
Yep. With the little guy that came into the store. Yep. I had a little. He was like probably 6 or 7 years old, and he was we had rent. Normally, I don't like to put myself on when I'm working, just because it seems like. I don't know. It just seems like, hey, watch me right behind me.
Secret spoiler.
Didn't I
Put
have
the-
you on when you came in or
Yeah,
something?
but-
Put the day on. Put the day before you on.
No.
It usually fills the entire shift.
I say this time I just happened to come in and I was on, so I was like, I guess I'll allow it. And then the kid came in, was watching it with his 2 older brothers, and I was playing Castlevania Bloodlines, and they were actually liking the game, so I was pretty surprised to see some young bloods appreciating the old school games. Like, oh yeah, this is awesome or whatever. And then the kid's like, so who is that up there? And I had my mask on still. Tomorrow I get to go maskless one more time, but I had my mask on. I was like, that would be me. And the kid is like, and took a stubborn dude. He's like, no, it's not. That's not you.
Do the line, Dan.
What?
Steve, do the line.
What?
It was me, kid. It was me all along.
Me, Austin.
So yeah, they were happy to hear. They're like, he's like, you post on YouTube? Are you a YouTuber? And I was like, oh, I'll put a little on there, but.
The answer is yes. Yes, we are very big on YouTube. Yes, we're very big on Twitch. Here's a card. Make sure to follow you, Poozer.
I did give him a card. He was really young, so I didn't want to take advantage of him.
It's not taking advantage. You're putting the PR out there because then that
That's
kid's
it.
going to be on the playground going, there's a game store in the mall and they have YouTubers.
But it was awesome to get that because they ended up appreciating the gameplay and asking me questions about it, and I was happy to answer. So
Hell
it was
yes.
cool.
That's good.
When can people see you play that again?
Wednesdays at 7:00.
Retro fucking Wednesday.
Guest appearance this Wednesday, Andy Batista. Got to be doing Golden Axe 2-player on the little Genesis system. Pretty wet.
Not bad, not bad. I have perfect. Dave, you'll be on Wednesday. Weekend Wednesday. I'll be on tonight. Danny NASCAR. With you guys going out? Are you playing Steve?
I'll be there tonight.
So,
I don't know. I was sitting there waiting to play yesterday.
It
guys.
was 4th of July. And if I'm not mistaken, you were playing croquet till like 8 o'clock.
I don't know. I got home at 8 o'clock. I turned my Xbox on. I turned on Twitch, and then I was like,
You should have hit go live then, Mike.
I don't know about that. All right, guys. Behind the counter, we're gonna sign off for tonight. We'll be back at it next week. Danny NASCAR on later tonight, also, as well as AC Weezy Monday Night Gaming. So make sure you stay tuned. Other than that, we'll see you, Dave and Mike. We'll see you guys Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll be back here next week. Adios.